What's good, guys? Your boy, Mr. Old School Ryder. Come back at you one more again on the Ryder's Book Club. I have a very special guest at this time. I have Miss Ebone from the PHG podcast. You got to check out her stuff. There's some good stuff on there as well. It got me hooked. I like stories. You know me. I like stories about everything. I don't care where it's coming from. And she pretty much almost a female version of me. But, of course, she's going to tell you a little bit more about herself at this time. What's going on, Ebone?
Hey, Mr. Old School Ryder. How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
All is well. Can't complain. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
We do appreciate you. I'm just over here sipping on that rosé, of course, from that Welch's. No alcoholic, of course, I don't drink, but this is the closest thing.
And I'm drinking my
alcohol that I'm. Oh, yeah. Shake your water real quick. I want to make sure it's not bubbling over there. I'm going to let you have the floor for a little bit. Tell us about yourself, Ebone.
Oh, these questions are so weird. I always feel like where do you start? But originally, I was telling you earlier, I'm originally from New York. I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee, moved back to New York, got my MBA. A couple of years ago, I lost my grandmother, who was like a mom to me. I lost her to Alzheimer's, and I went through like a really deep depression. And at that time, mental health and therapy wasn't as attractive as it is now. So I wanted to create a platform where women, especially Black women, can come together and just like get their shit off. Can I curse?
Hey, do your thing. Do your thing.
Then get their shit off and just be themselves and let's talk about certain things. Because I feel like a lot of times when people go through things, a lot of that stuff could have been avoided if we was to share the knowledge and gems amongst each other. And so I was trying to figure out what to do because I couldn't find a platform that was raw and unfiltered. So I created the Professional Homegirl. And with the podcast, I wanted it to be a place where women, especially Black women, don't have to look far to see themselves. And you'll hear so many stories that you normally don't hear women, especially women of color, speaking out loud about. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, you most definitely wrong. I'm like, whew. But it's good. I like it. You professional. The title of the title of the program, of course. I'm like, nah, she curse.
Oh yeah, I curse, but I gotta be respectful because I'm on your platform. So, and I don't know if your audience is into that type of language. So,
what you have. Oh man, yeah, you got to look at some of my shows and stuff. There's pretty interesting stuff on there. I have people from different lifestyles been on the show. It gets interesting on here. We talk. I can't go into details on that, but y'all been on the show. Y'all know what's going on. There's been all kind of cussing on here, of course, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm gonna let you have the floor here just for a second. What was the inspiration behind your book?
So with the podcast, I wanted to create something different. And when we still are in the pandemic, one of the things that a lot of people was going towards as far as like trying to find like ways to relax and therapy was coloring books. And I remember as a kid that I used to love the color. So I'm like, oh, let me just see what's going on because I wanted to get a coloring book and whatnot. And I was going to these bookstores and all the coloring books look alike. Like if it wasn't a coloring book with different women with different hairstyles or like with different afros, it was like either with flowers or it was either with these geometric shapes. And I think that's just like so boring. So I wanted to create something where I can see myself in something that's cool, something that a lot of people have never seen before. And I know people be like, oh, it's just a coloring book, but I feel like the images are not, you can't find them anywhere else, or I haven't found them anywhere else. And then, but I also wanted to put like a little twist on it because I feel like, there's only so much you can do with coloring books. So I wanted people to be able to interact with the coloring book besides just coloring. So I created a QR code where people can scan at the bottom of the each page, and it takes them to the story that they coloring. So I'm like really excited about my baby.
How long did it take you to put your book together?
I like like to take my time with things. I mean, mentally, I've been working on it for like maybe a year and a half, but physically, it probably took me like almost close to like to a year. Because me and my graphic designer really wanted to like figure out and make sure that we was doing everything right. And this was my first time doing it. So probably no more than like a year. I can't see you or hear you if you're saying something.
Hold on.
Oh, there you go.
What about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep the focus on you, of course.
Oh.
But yeah, pretty much the book that you have came out at a pretty good time, you know, like my last guest just said, the panoramic or whatever you want to call it. The sniffles that we just had here recently.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, but that QR code, that's genius, actually.
Right? Thank you.
What made you do the QR code? I like that.
I don't know. I always just like things different. Like I don't like to do what everybody else is doing. And I know that nothing is new under the sun, but if I can try to change or tweak it in some shape or form or fashion, then I do it. And obviously the main goal is my podcast, but the podcast, the professional homegirl is bigger than the podcast. The podcast is just an entity of the professional homegirl. So now it's a coloring book. So I always want to keep going back to what the main picture, the big picture is, which is the professional homegirl. But the professional homegirl wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't for the stories in the podcast. So I wanted to incorporate that within the coloring book. So people can be like, oh, well, I never heard of this before. And then they hear these stories and then they just get so caught up because the stories are just so good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Your shows are very good. I'm like, you know, like I said before, I like a good story myself. It don't matter where it's coming from. You know, I just like to hear someone's different outlook on certain things. That's what I like about it. When I run a call show or podcast, you got a lot of episodes in the tank.
Yeah, I know, right? It'll be 3 years on Saturday.
You have a great work ethic. How many episodes do you have right now?
You know, it's so funny because I actually have my website up right now. This week it came out on Tuesday. I'm at 144.
Ooh. Yeah, you holding it down over there. You're doing pretty good. Do you do these yourself or do you have like a team to help you out with this?
As far as like with the show?
Yes.
I am a one-woman show. So, but eventually I'm going to start I have my graphic designer. I have a transcriber, but eventually I need to like get an assistant because with the book and it's coming out, I just got into like 4 different stores. So the coloring book is taking on a world of its own. And I still have my 9 to 5. So it can be a lot at times.
Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. I try to upload some of my episodes myself, like on the Anchor and those different sites. It just take a lot of time.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, I had to I got somebody to assist me nowadays. Hopefully I get all my episodes, you know, plugged in on Anchor or, you know, whatever podcast and, you know, get hosted at, of course. Some of this stuff I have to chop down myself. You know, sometimes my guests just my guests love me. They like, you know, they like to cuss. They like to talk on here for a while, which is cool with me. I ain't tripping, but you know, some people want to hear like the short stuff every now and then. I got to chop them up a little bit.
Yeah.
But what I appreciate. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. What I appreciate about your podcast, the stories, they just grab you.
What's your favorite story?
Let me see. I've read a couple of them. There was a film the other day. I think it was one about the God dog. Hold on one second. It was about I think it was about the stripper or something like that.
Oh, that was a good episode. That's an oldie.
Oh yeah, it's an oldie. I'm in the classics right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the classes. You know, whenever you review somebody's stuff, you got to start from the beginning.
Yeah. Facts.
You know, you popped up on Instagram. I don't know how the algorithm works, but you know, you just popped up one day.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and somebody I know had.
No, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I popped up because we have like similar platforms. Like you have a show, a book club. I've been selling this coloring book like crazy. So That's probably what's on your feed right now.
Man, I also ran across it myself. I saw the little QR code. I'm like, what the heck is that on a like you said before, you take a picture of it and boom, the story just pop up.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And I think what also makes it cool is because when you listen to the stories and you're actually coloring, like you just get lost in it. And sometimes people stop coloring because they just can't believe some of the stuff that they're hearing with these stories, because people are not used to hearing stories from women of color from all over the world. And a lot of these stories are not being discussed in media or just amongst or within our communities. So when they hear these stories and they just like, oh, is this for real? And it's like, yeah, these stories are dead ass. Like a lot of shit goes on within our communities that people don't talk about.
I also another episode that I like as well. I didn't want to say this on the show. It might sound kind of crazy, but about White Pass.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. The
Like,
girl, she's white passing. So she talks about being white passing because she's Dominican. And a lot of people think she's white. And she talks about like how it affects her mental health and like the misconception she gets when people see her. It's just so crazy because you just never know what people are going through or what their experience is in life.
I know, some people use that to their advantage in her situation, but I understand her age. She want to, stick to her heritage and stuff like that. It kind of affect you to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you are, it's colorism within every within every community. So she's Dominican, but she's light skinned. So, she talks about that within being Dominican and her heritage and like what she goes through with her family and stuff, and how it may be certain comments, oh, but I'm white, but she's like, no, you're Dominican. So it's just so crazy to hear these stories and you hear different perspectives and you just be like, wow, like people really be going through mad shit.
I mean, especially in this situation we had in the last few years. Now we remix it. I guess a Mario is dancing around right now. Of course, I don't know when this stuff is going to end, pretty much, but I'm pretty much just got to be cautious and live my life right now.
Absolutely.
Because you can't live in. You got to hold on. Get back on camera for a second. Y'all can see me. Yeah, you got to live your life and everything. Just at least be safe.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
You gotta do everything your desires because you don't know what's gonna happen the next day.
Because of this situation we had in the last few years, a lot of people have a lot of regrets. Like, dang, I should have went ahead and start this business, or maybe lose some weight or something like that, instead of just sitting around feeling bad for yourself.
Yeah, but I also think that people just gotta give themselves grace. Like, you can compare your day 1 to somebody day 100. Like, everybody is motivated by different things. And granted, I think that this pandemic had made us realize what's more important. Like some of us have no choice but to work as hard as we do because that's all we have, while others have families that we can spend more time with and enjoy and like really appreciate the little things in life. So I think people just got to give themselves grace and just do the best they can each and every day and do everything that their heart desire. And what if that's you taking a nap? Kudos to you. I know a lot of people who would love to take a nap.
Yeah, you absolutely. My goodness, I worked. I took some time off from work and everything, but I pretty much worked the whole time.
Yeah, me too.
Which is, thank God, I still had a job and everything, making some good money, of course. But I want to take that little vacation like everybody else and got paid.
Listen, I would have loved to be in the bed watching Netflix and getting unemployment. But everybody's situation is set up differently. So I think the people just gotta give themselves grace and be thankful that they got to see another day, child.
Oh yeah, quite a few of us didn't make it, of course. It kind of did a number on us mentally, of course, but it made the best out of you. It made you stronger if you got out of this, whatever you need to get out of it, during the sniffles, of course.
Exactly.
Pandemic, whatever you want to call it.
And it also teaches you how to adapt because this is not going nowhere anytime soon. So this is our new normal. So if you can adapt in this, you can do anything.
Yeah, you're right about that. Since I'm in Atlanta, it only shut down for like a little bit, but I mean,
Nah,
it was business as usual down here.
yeah, y'all, Atlanta, Florida, y'all doing y'all own thing.
I'm from Texas, but it was shut down just for a little bit in certain pockets, but it was just business as usual back then. It was just everywhere else. You go to like Mississippi and Alabama, of course, they were shut down, of course, in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got back home to Georgia, I'm like, I ain't what pandemic?
Yeah, y'all just not started back wearing masks.
Yeah, they now they flipped it back up. You know what? Actually, I went home for the holidays. It was all good, no mask really in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I drove back to Atlanta, man, I saw all the signs on the window. Like, hey, people start acting crazy again. I'm like, what the heck going on?
Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all been doing y'all thing, twerking in the restaurants.
Man, that was going to have almost a lot of money to be made here back then too.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Oh yeah. When was the last time you've been out here?
Atlanta, I have not been out there in a minute, but I think I'm coming in March because I might have an event out there. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything works out. So yeah, but it's so funny because I've been in Nashville for my homecoming for the Tennessee State University, and that was in October. Yes, I haven't been in Atlanta in a minute. But I will be there.
HBCU, right?
Absolutely.
Already. All right.
State. So, but I'm coming to Atlanta for sure next year because I got to have a couple of meetings with these bookstores. Get these books in these stores, child.
Get that bread.
Okay.
Yeah, also I have a book event in June. It's gonna be around the Juneteenth-ish weekend or whatever.
Nice.
For the Ryder's Book Club Book Fest. If it's possible, I'll give you the details a little bit later. But I would like to invite you to my book fair. You can have your book out there.
Yes, please send me details. Like I do plan on coming to Atlanta, hopefully at least like 2 or 3 times. So please keep me posted.
And I got the parking. Don't even worry about it. The parking going to be free.
Thank you.
The parking is a big deal in Atlanta. For some reason, you got to pay for parking everywhere.
Black people don't want to pay for too much, child.
You're right about that. You can't play that Kroger trick for too long. They watching you.
Word.
Yeah, I went to an event. I went to an event last month. It was at the Western Hotel. I parked at Lennox Mall, but I was acting like I went to the mall. I came out the other way. Mm-hmm. I mean, luckily nothing didn't happen, but
they be on it.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, they was closed though. But I got out just in time. The people with the where they put the boots on your car. They'll boot your car real fast.
I don't put no games down. I mean, I don't put no games up here either, but shit, that's money. They trying to get, child, please. They be watching you as soon as you turn the car off.
I'm telling you, they be in the next car if you ain't too careful. So you say you're in Nashville, correct?
No, I'm in New York now, but my city's in Nashville.
Oh yeah, that's one of the big growing cities right now. Actually, for what I hear.
Oh, Nashville, from when I was in school to where it's at now, it's a whole different city.
Man, Dad in Charlotte, man, y'all just.
Yeah, I heard Charlotte is popping. I need to go to Charlotte too.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be going out there in a couple months. I'm going to be visiting folks I know, but it's something just come to Charlotte. I'm like, okay.
There's a lot of money out there. Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta. A lot of Black people are starting to find where the money is at. I got to go with them, child.
Oh yeah, I'm from Texas. I know only Texas. I'm like, man, them other cities ain't doing all that until I start coming to this side of the country.
It's a lot of money out there. I went to Nashville and I was just like, my God. I was like, where did this stuff come from? I'm talking about stuff everywhere.
Wow.
Like, for real.
I've been to Tennessee a couple times, but it was on my way to training for my job in Oklahoma. I drive everywhere I go almost. Mm-hmm. I haven't flew in years. But whenever I go to Oklahoma, I take, I think that's 40 if I'm not mistaken. I drive straight from Atlanta I go through Alabama, Mississippi just for a little bit. Then I go through Memphis for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Hit that little turn on the bridge, and bam, you're in Arkansas.
Oh yeah, Arkansas is right across the bridge.
Right across the bridge. Yeah, the first time I went to Arkansas through Tennessee, I couldn't believe how fast it was. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a while. I'm like, okay, let me go get something to eat real quick. I started driving for a little bit.
Right.
Got on that bridge. I'm like, welcome to Arkansas. I'm like, dang, that was fast.
Like as soon as you go on the bridge, you in Arkansas.
The sign just hanging right there.
Right. I haven't been to Arkansas in years. I love
Arkansas, of course, but I need to spend a little bit more time in Tennessee next time around, hopefully in the next month or two.
You like Arkansas?
I've been out there a few times in the past, but yeah, Arkansas really? Not bad. I mean, I like a little slow.
Yeah, it's real slow in Arkansas.
I mean, you got to have some money to spend. I mean, I don't want to be broke down there, of course, but you know, you got to have a few dollars and at least enjoy yourself.
Arkansas is, maybe when I went, it's just, I mean, the South is the South, but Arkansas is real slow. It's, I don't know, maybe because I'm a New Yorker now, I don't think I can do Arkansas for no longer than a day, and that's a long time.
Yeah, Arkansas is a little slower than everybody else. I think Mississippi got them. They like neck to neck.
Yeah, I think Mississippi might be a little bit better. Because it's not, I mean, unless Arkansas has changed and they added more establishments, but it ain't nothing to do in Arkansas, child. You might as well just stay in Memphis and have a good time.
Oh, yeah, you can have a good time in Memphis. You just got to watch your back, but you can have a good time down there.
No, I really hate what's going on in Memphis, man. Breaks my heart with all the
violence.
The violence and the killings and just it's just very unfortunate. It really is.
I know, you know, just hope for the best for them, you know, just pray on it or whatever y'all do. But yeah, it's going to get better. It's just going to take a little bit of time to make things happen down there.
I know.
But another part of the country is growing is Alabama right now.
Oh, I can't speak on Alabama. I ain't been to Alabama in I don't know how long.
Yeah, they got that Mercedes plant out there, and Mercedes made like a big investment down there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what? They got like a car plant down there in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I mean, it's a lot of land down there, so I can see why they did that. And that's a lot
of opportunity out there. They're going to say Alabama's supposed to be the next Florida. That's what they say. I'm like, hey, we're gonna see about that.
Child, I don't think nobody can duplicate Florida. Florida is its own.
Crazy.
Florida is its own thing, man. I've seen some crazy stuff in Florida.
I mean, all this time I've been in Georgia for the last 3 years, I have not even touched the closest I got to Florida was like Augusta or something, but that's the closest I got to Florida, but it's not that close, I don't think.
You never been to Miami?
No.
Oh wow.
Man, I've been invited out there. I got a couple interviews I got to do down there sometime this year. I was supposed to do it last year, but the pandemic was still going on. You know, everybody was still kind of scared.
Ain't no pandemic in Florida.
Not in Georgia either, but you know, that's what they say.
You could have went. You would have been okay.
I mean, you know, certain people are scared and say, "Oh man, you come from I'm like, no, just wait."
Florida is different. Like seriously.
Yeah, y'all got your own set of issues down there, but you know, I like Florida. We know what they do, but hopefully, I get down there in the next couple months. I'm gonna be taking a vacation. I'm just gonna be pulling up.
You should listen. You gotta work hard and play harder.
Yeah, you know, excuse me. The format on this particular show, I do like a live show. I'll do like a live in person show like once a month. I was trying to do that last year, but you know, it just wasn't gonna happen with the venues and stuff like that. But by me going to these other areas, I'm gonna be doing some of my live shows like remote from like other areas. That's what I'm going to be, like you say, work and play.
Yeah, I think that's dope because I feel like right now trying to do stuff in-house it might be a little difficult because of restrictions and every day it's a new variant and you know you want to make sure that the people that's coming to see you is safe. So unfortunately doing in person is not, for me, I don't think it's going to be an option because we just don't know what's going on out here in these streets. And I'd rather be safe than sick,
Oh, I like that one, safe and sick. Okay.
So, but I don't think
Oh.
there's anything wrong with this. I mean, this is our new normal. And, doing stuff like this, it helps with the overhead costs. So we just need people to show up. Okay.
And you're right about that. Yeah, my overhead is, once a month. It's not a bad price for what it is. But yeah, it's added cost right now, actually, once a month. I got to, engineer, a cameraman, stuff like that.
Right. It's expensive being the boss. Like, you gotta do everything on your own and come out your pocket. You gotta make sure your team is good. Like, it's a lot of work.
I mean, on my last live show, my cameraman didn't show up, but this time around, I got somebody else. Now I have a sound engineer to make sure the sound don't be crazy. And plus, I hate wearing headphones while I'm doing a podcast. My voice already project.
Right.
I want to be a little bit more smoother when I'm talking to people, of course, but
okay.
I mean, it's like the unknown with the headphones on sometimes. I'm already talking kind of loud and stuff, but I just want to be a little bit more comfortable. That's why we got an engineer.
Right.
There'll be that show in 2 weeks at the Reverb at the Hard Rock Cafe. Excuse me. It's going to be at the Reverb at the Hard Rock downtown Atlanta, of course, next to Mercedes.
Oh, nice.
That's where the next show is going to be. It'll be broadcast on YouTube, of course. I can't have really a lot of people in there. It'd be too hot.
Right.
But we're going to be all right. So, Ebone, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite episode of your podcast?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite episode because I feel like all the episodes are so good. I don't know. I feel like the first episode that I'm literally staring at is the one that came out this Tuesday. I didn't know my husband's past, and that story went viral. So if you was to do because all of my guests are anonymous. So if people was
about that one, that was kind of that was wild. But yeah, I'm sorry. You can go.
Yeah, that was an amazing story. So a lot of people I interview, if people was to really do their research, they can find out who the person is. But that was an amazing story. Like, that story is so good. And it's like the epitome of forgiveness. I interviewed Florence Griffin Joyner's daughter. That was an amazing interview. Like, and I used to love FloJo growing up. Like, she was like definitely one of my idols. And I don't know, I feel like all the stories are just so good. I love the stories when girls are just really like themselves. Like, how like Black people, how we talk and we got our own lingo and stuff. And just like, I just love when the women just like get their shit off. Like, it was a story where I didn't know my husband gave me HIV. That was amazing. Oh my God, my son was shot 76 times. The Jamarian Robinson story. That was amazing. His mom is just a warrior. So we gotta send her some love and light because that situation was a police brutality in Atlanta. So that was a really good, unfortunately, good story. And it's just so many stories. Like, it's just so many different women that I meet. Even the sex worker stories. Like, it's just so many stories that so many people I meet, and I'm just always just amazed at how the strength of these women and how they just keep going. And just like, it just reminds me what I always tell people, like, tough times don't last, but professional homegirls do. And I think that these women are the epitome of it.
Oh, y'all had quite a few, the SWs on my show, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They have some interesting stories. That's what I like about it. I mean, I've been around to a certain extent, but yeah, they have some very interesting stories. We pretty much are still people at the end of the day. We go through like trials and tribulations and, things like that in life. But yeah, their stories are very interesting. I like those stories.
And it's not even interesting. Sometimes it just be like life just be life. And like, you be thinking that a lot of people be thinking like, how can this person do this? How can this person do that? And that's the reason why I want to make my guests anonymous, is because I want people to focus more on the story. Because once you hear the person's story and you hear how they overcame it, it makes you want to show and empathize with that person and be like, damn, who is this person? Because if she can get through this, I know I can get through anything.
Heck yeah, you right about that. Yeah, the SWs, they love your show. They love you.
I know, I love them. They're my girls. I got a lot of sex worker friends, and I support them all the way. Lot of beautiful, dope, successful women.
You know, shout out to y'all as well. You know, you got to live your life as well. You know, everything is gonna work itself out at the end. You know, it just means to an end, of course, like everything else. But shout out to y'all as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah, another show. One of the other shows I like is about the psychic.
Oh, how can I forget about that? My psychic. Oh my God. I feel like any episode that's spiritual is amazing because I'm all about spirituality because we need all the help that we can get while we're here on this earth. So the psychic episode is amazing. Part 1 and part 2. Amazing. Like hands down.
That part 2. Oh, wait.
Like my psychic is no joke. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, she from New York. Like, she talked with the lingo. Like, I'm from New York, so everything was just so amazing. Like, that episode was fire. Fire.
Yeah, she out New York you.
Yeah, she was just like that. And you know what it is? I think with that episode too is because a lot of times, like, spirituality is so popular now, just like how mental health and therapy is. So a lot of people are like, I was going to say flogging, but flogging is a Memphis word. A lot of people are faking it and saying that they so into this, into that. So when you meet people that's really about this life and they study it, it's a gift from God and they can speak thoroughly on it, you can definitely be able to tell the difference. And her episode was just, man, like it got deep.
Yeah, your shows get very, very deep. I'm like, you have to replay it sometimes. I'm like, that what she say?
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I listen to it, like if I'm having a fucked up day, I listen to certain episodes, and I just be like, wait, what happened? Like I be on my own. I just be like, nah, you can't make this shit up, man. Like some of the stuff the girls be saying, I be like, yo, you're wow.
I thought my stuff was wild, but I was listening to your stuff. I'm like, man, she ain't got nothing on me.
Oh man.
I ain't got nothing on. I'm sorry. I ain't got nothing on PSG at all. She got this.
I'm telling you, like the episodes are like even another spiritual episode is I Use Magic. Man. Amazing. Like, but then I also interview a sister. So a sister is people think that sisters are nuns, but they're not. And that was an amazing episode. Like we talk about racism in the Catholic religion and stuff. Like just to be able to talk to somebody of that caliber was just so good. Like everybody really loved that episode. So I'm very proud of the work that I'm putting out, especially when it comes to representing women of color.
Oh yeah, I cannot forget about the episode I'm a Swinger.
Oh, that was an amazing that episode.
That feels very good up here. That feels very well up here.
Oh, definitely in Atlanta. Yeah, they give it up down there. But yeah, that was amazing. Like, oh, and she knew her history. Like, we went back to the archaic times, like when people started swinging. Like, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like my guests, like, they're just so knowledgeable. Like that the shows be entertaining, but they also be educational. So.
It was some stuff I didn't know about. I'm like, dog, that's too educational. I'm like, how the heck you know this stuff?
I'm telling you, like the episodes are just like, oh my God. Even one, because I'm looking at my episodes now, because I'm like, I did so many. For the fellas, I got a chance to interview Lynn and Jay Bias' mother, and that was amazing.
And she been through. I haven't got to that one yet, but she been through so much.
Oh my, what? Oh my God. That episode was just crazy. How she lost her second son. I'm just like, nah. That shit is wild.
I know, man. I remember the stories from back in the day, how they went away. I'm like, God, dog.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
It's so sad. But I think that's the beauty of the podcast. Like, I feel like a lot of people shed light on, oh, they made it, oh, they did this and they did that, but a lot of people don't talk about what it took to get there. So I think with the podcast, it definitely put a lot of things into perspective. And, I think that, like I said, if you listen to any of these stories, man, you can overcome anything, because a lot of these guests went through a lot of stuff, that just kept happening nonstop. So it's a lot of strong women on this podcast.
I have to give it to you. You're consistent on your work and stuff. You got, like you said, 140 something episodes.
Yeah, 145.
That's a lot of stories.
It is. And, I'm really big on being consistent, because I do believe that being consistent will take you far. But I also feel like this don't feel like work, because this is my purpose and this is my passion. And I know when I'm doing it, it feels really good. So don't get me wrong. Like, sometimes I get frustrated, or like, I'm a one-woman show, and, I have a life too. And I have things that goes on that's outside of PHG, but I can honestly say that I'm really thankful for this vision that God gave me, because I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like, this feels like home. Like, this feels regular.
It's therapeutic when you're kind of doing your own thing. You're enjoying yourself.
Like, it's just so cool. Like, and I think that, like, I make myself proud, and I make the little girl inside of me proud. Like, to be able to, like, have a coloring book, and, to be able to go into these stores and sell my coloring book. And now it's in 4 stores, and, like, to be able to talk to so many different people like yourself. And, like, when you make people feel comfortable, that says a lot about your character. So, especially when it comes to opening up about things that these people never feel like people want to hear from them. Like, I always wanted to create a space where women, especially Black women, will feel seen. And I think with PHG, everybody see them.
Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. We need to see this coloring book in more stores. I know you're going to network. We know that's going to be a given anyway. It's coming.
Yes, from your mouth to God's ears, child.
And also, I noticed recently, I'm not going to say binge watch. I mean, not binge watch, but, I'm trying to go through the content the best way I can. You also got an animation on your, you also got animation as well, right?
I know. I'm working on animation. Like, I have so many ideas, but you know what it is when it comes to building your team and building a business, you gotta really, because this is my livelihood. Like, this is what I plan on doing for the rest of my life. So you gotta really find people that's passionate, or at least believe in what you're doing. And I don't want to just be paying people just for them to do a job. Like, I need you to believe in PHG, because if you believe in PHG, then you're going to do the hell out your job, and you're going to do it great every single time. And if I have to tell somebody how to do something and I'm not an animator, but I know that that's not right, then you're not the person for me. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can't do that person's job. They need to know the job way more than you. You can't be in there like, hey, you need to do this.
Exactly. And I feel like you can't outwork me. And I don't expect everybody to work like me, but if I'm paying you, you need to work and you need to do the job right. I can't take laziness.
Yeah, I don't like laziness either. I mean, if you're not into it, just don't take the money. Just don't do it.
Exactly. And I think the first cartoon was amazing. Like, a lot of people liked it and it was funny, but that's something I definitely want to go forward with. I just got to find the right person and bring what's in here into the screens, because I have so many good ideas.
That was actually one of the ideas I was thinking about myself. Do like a little animation on some of my stories. But I kind of price up some of these prices for animators. It's not the cheapest thing in the world.
And that's another thing. Animation is not cheap, especially if you want it 3D or 4D. So it's just like, you gotta building a team or just having a business and being an entrepreneur. That's why people have to support people, because there's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and money that goes into creating a great product or a service, And I think that when people think that when entrepreneurs ask for support, they think that, oh, you just want money. It's like, no, I don't want your money, but we're going to keep it a buck. I need money to keep building this that you say you quote unquote like. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, with this particular podcast on both shows, I've been putting a little bit more money into it recently,
Mhm.
especially when I do my live show, from the Hard Rock, of course. Yeah, the stuff I can afford, but
It's a
you got to put
lot.
money into it. I mean, I'm gonna lose money, maybe this year, but in 23, it should be a money maker by 23.
Yeah, I mean, listen, scary money don't make no money. So we gonna have to make some. We gonna have to spend some money to make some money. But I just think that it's just expensive when it comes to building a great quality podcast or coloring book or a book club. Like it takes time, it takes money, and I don't think that people understand how much work we put into our passion. Passion is not cheap. If that's the case, everybody be doing it.
Yeah, that's facts on that, man. We have different software and apps and stuff like that to kind of make it a little bit easier. But to take this seriously and make this into a business, you got to put the money into it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, the best of your knowledge and everything, have like good stories and good guests and stuff like that. How do you be finding all these guests?
Oh man. Honestly, I mean, now at this point, people just come to me, like they submit on the website, the phgpodcast.com. They submit their stories, but a lot of times I just do research. Like I love storytelling, I love research, so I always trying to find topics that either I want to know more about, or it's topics that I hear that goes on within my community, or what me and my girlfriends want to talk about. And I just research. I go on YouTube, I go on Instagram, Facebook, I Google. Like I just think of like different ways of trying to find different topics, and then the topics is normally tied to a person. I look into that person, or I find people that's similar to that person, and I just shoot my shot.
Yeah, that's what I kind of do myself. I go back to like the old sales days. I send like a bunch of emails and DMs. It's pretty much like a numbers game. Recently I have some people coming to me nowadays, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I do the contacting myself, like I did with you.
Right, you did. I was like, who is this? Almost a Miss PhD.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out your name. I'm like, oh, okay, I found your first name. Some people don't put their name on there like that.
Yeah, I was like, it's so funny because people do call me PhD.
Oh yeah, we do appreciate it, Miss PhD. We're getting close to the end. I got a few other questions here. Sure. So, what was your first car growing up, and your favorite car?
So my first car was a Nissan Altima. It was silver. I called him Michael Muhammad. And I was so proud because I think I worked like 2 jobs. My grandmother, who inspired the professional homegirl, she gave me $3,000, and I paid that first car off in cash. And I drove to school. I wasn't the best driver, so thank God I didn't get into no accidents. But by the time I got to school, because Nashville and Memphis like a 2.5-hour drive, I knew how to drive. And you could not tell me my car was not a Mercedes Benz. Like it was so cute. Like the newest model and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I bust my ass for that car because I'm like, I'm not going to school without a car. And then
cash too?
Yeah, I paid in cash. I was working hard, child. And then my favorite car, I had a Jeep Commander. I called her Pearl Cocaine. And she was so sexy. Ugh. So I don't know. She was one of my favorite cars, but I think my favorite car, I don't know if I have a favorite car now. I don't know. I want somebody to drive me around. I'm tired.
I mean, it got to be something that you had your eye on out there. Like, you know what? I mean, I know you're in New York. I know y'all on public transportation quite a bit.
No, you know what? My best friend mom, because I like trucks, if I was to ever get a car or another truck, I'd probably get the Range Rover. Because my best friend mom has a Range Rover and it's so sexy. Like, it's so nice. Like, I wouldn't get a car because I'm used to trucks. But that Range Rover, oh, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, I love those Range Rovers, too, even from, like, back in the day. But if I were to get a Range Rover, it'd be, like, black on black, all black.
Hers is all... You know what? Every person I know who has a Range Rover is black on black. And it's so sexy. Like, it looks so good. So yeah, if I was to get another car, that would probably be it.
And but in Atlanta, everybody got everything out here. Just, sometimes I get tired of saying them. I'm like, God, dog. can we get something different? But the money out here, which I do appreciate. I mean, it makes it. You see it every day, like, man, you know what? It's attainable. If I keep working hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Not even that, but it's also about who you know. I always feel like your network is going to increase your net worth. So you just keep networking with people and putting people onto your show, and like you just never know who's going to be able to put you in places that you always want to be in.
Yeah, I'm trying to make some moves right now. I just gotta, I just started back up on season 2, episode number 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year I did like 51, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get close to that. I'm trying to maybe do like 35 or 40 this year, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to work on the quality a little bit more right now. I'm trying not to. I do want to pump them out, but I want to kind of make sure they're right.
Absolutely, take your time. The only person you comparing yourself to is yourself, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, we're trying to take this off. We got a few other questions here. So, what do you suggest to somebody that want to start off with a podcast or their own show? What's a good suggestion you can give to somebody starting out?
I would tell people now, because everybody, their daddy have podcasts, but I think what's going to keep people to stand out more than the next person is just to be consistent. When I was starting out, my shows were coming out every Tuesday, and it was one person listening, and then grew to 5 people. But them 5 people knew that every Tuesday that show was coming out. And if your show didn't come out, I always tell people to over communicate. Tell those 5 people, tell on Instagram, newsletter, however you reach your people, let them know, because once you get people in the habit of, okay, this person's coming out every Tuesday, they're going to look forward to it. The moment they feel like you're not going to be consistent, it's a possibility you're going to lose them. So I truly believe in being consistent no matter what's going on. If you ain't got no money, whatever the case may be, consistency is going to always win no matter what. And I can put everything I love on that.
Oh, that's awesome right there. Wow. So what are your final thoughts at this time?
At this time?
Yes.
On just in general?
Yes. We're pretty much close to the end. I wasn't going to keep you on here all day. We got stuff to do.
I just want to say just, thank you so much for inviting me on your show and getting a chance to speak more about the podcast, the Professional Homegirl podcast, about the coloring book, which is now in 4 stores. So it's coming to a city near you. If you want to know more about me, you can follow me on Instagram at the PhD podcast or at the Professional Homegirl. You can follow me on Twitter at the PhD podcast. If you want to support, because we need some money to keep this baby growing, you can support at patreon.com / the PhD podcast. And last but not least, I just want to say thank you. I think that's all of it. It's just.
Do you have I know you can donate on Patreon. Do you have like a cash out so they can hit you?
Okay, well, listen, we talking like
Come
that.
on now, you can do what you do on here. Come on now.
We do have a cash app, $PHGEBO. We also have a buy me a coffee, because I love coffee, because coffee keeps me going, because I work really hard. So it's buymeacoffee.com / the PhD podcast. Okay.
I need to buy me a coffee. I don't drink coffee. Just buy me a hot chocolate. Y'all know what my cash app is. Hey, calm down. Of course. What's up, MC the Shiznick? Oh man, look like it's gonna have to be the replay gang. Of course, one of my.
Who's this, MC the Shiznick?
Oh yes, he said what's up. Of course.
Hi.
Yeah, shout out to Minnesota. Of course, he was one of my guests I had on the show recently as well. He's good on the weight loss journey as well. Has some good tips. Also, he's in the car genre as well. He has some good episodes on his show as well. But other than that, we're going to chop it up for a minute, Ebony, before we go, if you don't mind. We do welcome everybody and for coming on the show on the Ryder's Book Club with Mr. Old School Ryder. I have Miss Ebone from the PhD podcast. Yes. We're over and we're out.
Bye, everyone.
Don't disconnect. Stay right there for me.
I got you.
Hold on.